I'm not too surprised by how many people have an ambition to leave the career that they've had for however long and either stop working or do a career change when they're in their 50s, mid 50s, or even later. I'm not too surprised by it, and it's something I can relate to. After all, I have just done exactly that. In this video, I'm going to go through a few of the things that maybe you should consider. I'm no expert in it. I'm an expert in what I've done because it's me, and that includes the mistakes I've made. But I'm no expert in saying, oh, go do this, go do that. What I will do is give a few examples of the reasons and what influenced me to actually do what I've done. First things first, did I want to leave my job? Yes, but not quite when I did. I had a plan to leave probably in a few years' time, and that's a few years' time from now. But there was one or two things that were happening, won't go into that, but a few things that were happening in the job. I wasn't particularly happy. And then there was an opportunity to actually take a package and leave. The place I was working was doing every few years, they would do sort of mutual severance kind of thing. And I decided to take it and actually do what I'm doing now, which is coaching, well-being, and so on. So it suited me. But I had to think it through. And here's the crucial thing. This is the thing that kept going through my head. Am I willing to accept whatever the outcome is? That no matter what happens, was I willing to take the good with the bad, with the disastrous, or whatever? If I thought at any point that I wasn't willing or I wasn't able to cope with that, the answer would have been stay in the job. Pure and simple. Because there are so many things that can go wrong. There are so many things, so many stresses, so many chances that for depression, anxiety, things not going wrong, rejection, failure, so many things that can go wrong that you've got to be ready to to accept that possibility. Equally, there's so many chances for good things to happen, for feeling positive, for feeling as if you're really achieving something, and especially if it's something that you're creating, especially if it's something that you feel passionate about. There are so many chances for that to succeed as well. And at the end of the day, it kind of all comes down to it's you at last. It's not depending on someone else. It's not someone else's rules. It's not someone else's structure, aims, goals, what have you. It's the aims and goals and the values and beliefs and everything else like that that are yours. That's a bit of a challenge, but it's a really good, fun challenge to have. Again, as long as you're willing to accept whatever the outcome is, good or bad. Do I feel that I made the right decision? For me, yes. There are good days and there are bad days. There are days when I think, oh, maybe it was a bit, maybe I jumped a bit early. I don't know. But equally, there's so many other days when I think, no, this is exactly the right thing for me. This is what I wanted, and probably at the right time. Because if it hadn't come along when it did, there's a good chance that I would have kept going and kept going. To maybe it was just a bit too late. Maybe I would have stayed till maybe I was just that wee bit too old to actually do what I wanted to do or give myself that chance because businesses take a wee while to build up. It's not, well, maybe some that you just leave and you start and it works and what have you. And yes, I was doing a little bit before I actually left the job, but they still take time to build. And that is something that I knew was going to happen. But it's still slowly sinking in. This is now about 6 or 7 months since I officially left, the job I had, and I've been doing this full time. And it's okay, things are ticking over, but it's still I think I was expecting to be, that's it, I've got the company car now and it's my company that's bought the car, whatever, expecting it to be so much bigger than it is. And it's not, but that's me being unrealistic compared to now, where I'm realizing what the reality of it is. And the reality of it is that it takes a while to build a business. Now, in every video I've ever done about early retirement or career changes or anything like that, I've avoided one question. because I'm not an expert in this and I don't want anybody thinking I am or taking advice on what I've said. But because I'm talking about my specific example, I'll talk about finance for once. For me, I'm in a lucky position. I'm not rich. I've not got a pot of money somewhere. I've not got a private income or anything like that. But I was lucky in that I'd always intended to have my mortgage paid by the time I was 60. I'm lucky that I'm old enough that I got a house at a reasonable price. Not buttons or anything like that. For the time it was still a lot of money. But I got a house at a reasonable price. So I could, and I've put the money in and paid the mortgage. And it would have been getting paid off this year. But with a bit of a settlement that I went and got, it wasn't much, but it was still reasonable. I managed to clear that off and clear off credit cards and what have you. So I'm sitting, apart from one thing, I'll admit to one thing, which is I'm still paying a car off. That was just too big to pay off in one go. It's not nothing special. It's a Dacia, but I'm still paying it off because we'd only just bought it. I am lucky that way. If I had more to pay off, if I had more debts, again, I would probably have reconsidered what I was doing. So I went through so many hours going through all sorts of things on spreadsheets and then going through them again, then realizing I'd forgotten something and going through them again. And I must have spent at least 6 months, maybe more, going back to the spreadsheet, figuring things out, projecting things. I am no financial expert, but it gave me comfort to be sitting just hoping that something will happen. To be sitting just saying something should, and anybody who worked with me knows how much I hate the word should. There is no such thing as it should happen. You need to make it happen. You need to be sure it will happen. You need to take everything into consideration and get it working. Should doesn't work. And especially when it comes to finances, especially when it comes to your personal finances and the finances that could affect your family. And that's what I had to think of as well. I was also very lucky that my son is now, well, he was 20 then, he's now 21. So he's got a reasonable job now as well. So I don't need to support him. So I'm lucky there. And my wife's got a job as well. Nothing big, but again, it's decent. You might hear me say nothing big for a lot of things. It's because there's nothing special about it. Is I don't have a great wealth behind me. I've got a very average income, and I don't mean national average or something like that. There's just nothing special about it. But I have decided what suits me. I have got what I need. I'm not trying to match anyone else. I'm not trying to match someone else's company. And it's a big thing, especially where you see other people. And it happens, I know a lot of coaches. I also know a lot of coaches that go, I'm not doing as well as that coach. I'm not doing as well as that coach. And there's probably half a dozen coaches looking at that person going, I'm not doing as well as that coach. Sometimes you need to step back and just go, how well am I doing compared to what I need and what I want? And you have to look at it that way because you'll go mad. The stressors that you put upon yourself by going, oh, they're doing okay, they're in that business by 6 months they were able to do that. But they're different to you. They've got different circumstances. It might even be that they have so many debts that they are incredibly focused and trying everything to get that business going. You also don't know how much debt that business has to have got to that position, how much have they spent on advertising, whatever. Doesn't mean to say they're successful, and it might not be a success that you would enjoy anyway. You've got to do it for you. You've got to think of your values. And that's a really important one you'll hear me talk about over and over again. It needs to be your values. So, would I advise anybody to jump ship? What I've said, I can only talk about me. I don't want to give advice. But if you take everything into consideration, you feel strongly enough about it, you've looked at the finances, you've looked at what the journey might be, all the potential options, pitfalls, and successes that might come upon you, if you look at all of that and you still have this burning passion inside to do something that's yours, then maybe you have an answer already. So, what's next for me? Well, learning how to use a camera properly is going to be a biggie. I'm doing more and more photography, more and more videos, thoroughly enjoying it. This channel is something that I'm no expert on. I'm learning it as I go along. And again, I'm really enjoying it, but it's part of the business that I'm doing as well. It's helping promote the business, it's helping my creativity as well, that need that I have. One of my values is for be creative. And this is combining those coaching well-being skills and part of the business together with being creative. And that's something I get a great deal out of. So I'm going to continue to build that. If I don't continue to build that, if I don't keep moving forward, it could slowly grind to a halt. And then what do I do? Find a part-time job somewhere, you know, be the old bloke, be the semi-retired guy that everybody goes, oh yeah, don't worry about him, he'll get there eventually. Is that the future? No, I want to do something and keep doing something that I have a passion for. So hopefully I get a chance to do that. So a little bit of news of the channel. In a few days' time, there will be a second video. Yeah, I can barely cope with doing one video a week, and I'm going to start bringing out a second video a week. But the difference is, this video, which will be coming out on Mondays, will be more like this. It's just going to be talk from here. The video, which will come out on Thursdays, yeah, I was trying to remember that. The video that will come out on Thursdays will be more the scenery and won't be so much, here's a theme about something. It's going to be more of a challenge that I'm setting myself. More of that when that video comes out. Anyway, thanks for listening to my waffle. I'll be honest, I've given myself a bit of a challenge. It can take me a while to do a video, and I'm giving myself a challenge to try and do this video in a set amount of time, just a few hours, and that's from start to publishing. So we'll see how it goes. It's nice to try different things. Anyway, thank you very much. If you've got in out of this, please feel free to like or subscribe or both, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.